I quit listing my items on eBay for 4 months. So what happened? What happened to my sales? What did I learn? Am I going to list on eBay again? And if so, what would I change? Those are the topics of today's video, so stay tuned till the very end. Also, smash that like button if you would. Please helps me out with the algorithm. Let's get into it. So I stopped listing in June of this year. June 24th was the last time that I listed anything on eBay. So what happens when you stop listing on eBay? Do your sales decrease or do they maybe increase? Well, I can only tell you what happened to me, so let's get into it. But first, let's talk about why I stopped listing. First, I'm currently trying to build another business, and I needed to devote like all of my attention to that business. So I pulled away from eBay, even though eBay is pretty much what pays my bills right now. Secondly, I had health issues that I was trying to focus on, and I was kind of worn out, and I was kind of, a little bit stressed because I'd taken on a little bit more burden than I thought. And so I needed to kind of back away from everything for a little bit there. And third, I took some time to reevaluate kind of where everything was headed, where my life was headed, and if reselling or eBay was still something that I wanted to continue doing, or if I wanted to kind of pivot and change directions. The world has kind of changed a little bit in the last couple of years, and I'm seeing a little bit of opportunities in some other areas. So I just kind of had to step back and reevaluate. On that note, if you want my further opinion on that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video here shortly. Also, while you're down there, thump that like button. Helps me out with the algorithm. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. So let's get into it. But first, a couple of caveats. Okay. One, I did have to relist a couple items during this time because they were cancellations or returns. So they weren't new items. It was just I refreshed the listing and had to relist it. Secondly, I did try a batch of, I think it was 10 items that I ended the items and then I relisted them because that was a strategy that a lot of people were saying was like increasing their sales. My experience was that it didn't increase sales at all. In fact, all 10 items that I ended and relisted are still available on my store. So by the numbers, let's see what happened. Right? So my eBay account stats as of the time that I stopped listing, which was June 24th, the very tail end of June, I had 236 active listings. Listings that I have on there today are 151. So whatever the difference is there, that's how many. In June, I sold 38 listings. And that was June was a month that I was still listing up until the 24th. So that's no surprising. Like I only listed for 1 week and I think I put 25 listings up. So I didn't list a lot in June, but that's the last time that I had a string of events that I listed in. So for June, I only sold 38 items with a grand total of $2,551.32 in revenue, or an average sale value of about $67.14 per item. Now that's complete gross sales. That's not profit or anything like that. Sales in July dropped off pretty dramatically. So this is, keep in mind, I stopped listing in June. Now July, for the full month of no listing, I sold only 22 items with a grand total revenue of $1,290.64. With that, kind of dropped my average sale value down to $58.66. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that in July, I was accepting pretty much, all the offers that came my way. So moving on to August, I sold exactly 10 items for $555.40. That made my average sale value $55.54. Easy math there. September, I dropped down to 9, so I almost did. I kind of plateaued there. August was 10, September is 9, for $491.55. It dropped my average sale value down $54.61, which is a little bit lower than $55, but hanging in there. And then in October, I only sold 6 items. Total revenue in October was $419.69, and my average sale value was actually $69.94 because I did sell a couple items in October that were like higher value items, so it kind of like skewed that number a little bit. So as you can see, over the course of the 5 months, my sales went down quite a bit. I generally sell, if I'm listing consistently on this specific account, this is just kind of my everything account, my thrift store items, all that kind of stuff. If I just list consistently on there, I'm generally selling between 50 and 100 items if I'm actually listing something every single day. So June, selling only 38 items. I was already low, but like I said, I think I listed 5 days in June total. So not very many items. I think I only listed 25 items in June. It's hard for me to go back and look at that because eBay's already purged that data. But if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around there. So some observations that I have, right? So the first 2 months I did pretty much absolutely nothing. July, I started accepting pretty much the offers that were coming my way, but I didn't do anything in the way of like updating titles, changing prices, doing any kind of like auditing of my listings to make sure that they looked good or anything. I stayed out of my eBay account entirely for the first 2 months. And sales decreased massively as expected. I think that's a pretty obvious outcome. But the last 2 months, I changed things up. As I mentioned before, in August, I actually ended 10 items and then relisted those items to see if that would trigger any sales or any kind of boost to my search results in the algorithm or whatever. I didn't see anything as far as benefit from that. So I didn't really do that again. I just did it one time in August and that was it. And in the last 2 months, so September and October, I updated pricing. I was going in there on a weekly basis and changing pricing by like $1 here, $1 there. I was looking at titles and maybe correcting some titles if there was something. And I was sending offers to people that were watching. So when you got watchers on your items, it allows you to send them offers. And I was actually doing that in the last 2 months. And even doing that, I still only sold like 15 total items between September and October. But I did notice one thing. I noticed that when I would update the pricing or change the pricing a little bit or reconfigure the titles, I would almost immediately get more people watching because I would send out offers to everybody who was on my watching list. And then I would update titles and do something the next day. And then it would be like immediately there would be more people watching. So I feel like that actually does something. I feel like it gets it in front of more eyes. So I'm going to continue doing that, obviously, because I seem to be getting some results. Obviously, not good enough results to just sit there. I still have 151 items in my eBay store, in my inventory, and it's dwindled way down to like 6 items a month in the holiday peak season. So it's not doing that much, but it's doing enough to just like get some more eyeballs on my items, which I'm kind of happy about. So what I rediscovered or kind of discovered again, these are things that I kind of knew, but I didn't really like. They're not top of mind type things. eBay is not passive income. It is not at all a passive income stream. When you stop listing, you stop selling. You stop making money the second that you stop listing. So the only way that you can continue to make money on eBay is to list more items. If you're running it the way that, a lot of us are running it, buying and selling things from garage sales and thrift stores and doing that kind of thing. Now, if you're doing replenishables or you're doing like drop shipping or eBay drop shipping or whatever, that might not be the case. I don't do drop shipping on my eBay account, so I do one-off type sales. And in that regard, eBay is absolutely not passive income. Essentially, you're just as good as the last thing that you upload, the last listing. And if you stop making listings, you're going to stop making money. And that's just the way it is. The second thing that I observed was if I'm going to keep selling on eBay, I need to hire a helper. I need to hire somebody that can be there and do the things that I'm not good at doing, the things that I don't want to do in my business that just aren't getting done because I have either a mental block or a time block or whatever. I need to start outsourcing that stuff so that I can continue building my business on eBay if I'm going to continue building my business, which I'll answer here in just a second. Now, one thing that I will say about that is that I have put out a couple of classified ads for hiring assistant listers and that kind of thing. I'm going to have to make an entirely separate video on that because it has been an interesting revelation in trying to find qualified help to do the easiest job in the world. And some of these people want $20 an hour and they can't spell dollars. So if you can't spell dollars, you can't make dollars, I think. I don't know. And then the third thing that I kind of realized about this is that my exit strategy, which is pretty much non-existent, is a weak point for my business. If there was some reason why I had to sell my business in a hurry, I have tons of inventory. I have 4 entire storage units full of inventory that are just waiting to get processed and listed. There's no shortage of inventory in my business. But if I had to walk away quickly, I would be forced to liquidate at a huge discount to get out from under everything because it is absolutely not a business that I could walk away from and have it still earn money. It's not something that I could sell to somebody else and put them into the position that I'm in and have them just immediately take over and start making money. So if I have an exit strategy that I'm going to develop for this company, it's got to be something that is going to automate a lot of this. And there's a couple things that I've looked at that are, promising, but not anything that I have fully settled on just yet. And I'll make a couple more videos on that kind of stuff too as I get a little bit more information on them. So that is the basic boil down of what happened to my eBay account when I stopped listing for 4 months. So am I going to keep selling on eBay? I don't know. I really don't know, actually. I am still undecided on it. What I do know is that it's November 2nd, and I'm going to have to start listing like crazy if I'm going to catch this holiday rush. And this is a holiday season that you're going to want to list for because there's supply chain issues for new gifts. I have a feeling that it's going to be a pretty big secondhand year this year. So if you are not listing currently, get yourself in gear because it will be a good year for it, I think. So I'm going to have to do that. And I will be listing at the very least, the rest of my inventory, and I'll be listing like crazy till the end of the year just to capitalize the most on this holiday season. And then I'm going to take a step back at the beginning of the year and probably reevaluate where I'm at again. I have some other interests that I'm pursuing that may or may not take off. And if that were the case, I don't want to even say anything about it because I don't want to make promises that I can't deliver on, because I tend to do that sometimes. I'm sorry, Greg. I think that was your name. And so, yeah, that's the answer to that. I don't know that I will continue listing on eBay. I may actually move over to Facebook Marketplace, where I've had a little bit better luck. So anyway, if you liked the video, please like, favorite, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube thing. You know the drill. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.